Well, now, right, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever it is you are. It's Dave here, the Fat Lad on a Barbecue, welcoming you to the channel on this lovely Thursday late evening, around about 5:30. I've just watched yes, let's not go there, shall we not? Today, I'm going to be doing something I've been waiting to do for quite a while, and this would be what's going to get done. It's a veal prime rib is what it is, half a kilo's worth, from John Davidson's butchery at its best, it says here. So that's going to get done on the Thueros, and I'm also going to be doing some flatbreads, and then the Mem Sab and I will be chowing down on it alongside salad with boiled eggs and all of that kind of stuff. You won't see that bit, but I'll enjoy it. So come along with me and let's see how we can cook veal to be really, really nice. Yes, welcome to the channel. We're back. Here we go. I'm putting the gloves on because we've got to get the barbecue started. I'm going to use something a little bit different today. This came from Amazon. This, as you will see, is a foldy flatty chimney for getting your coals started. And it's dead easy, isn't it, really? Flat thing, there you go. That'll fit down there, no bother at all. And this I like this idea. I like the idea that we've got slats so there's nothing to stop any flameage. So that just pushes in. And there you have it. There's your chimney, all ready to go. So I'm going to load some Pro-Q briquettes in, as you do, because I'm going to want some heat. Quite a lot thereof. So that's the Pro-Q briquettes, they're loaded in, and I'm going to put half a dozen of these little babies on the surface there. Put those bits in. Let's have a look and check. That's going to give me plenty flame. So down with your oldie flamethrower. Let's get it a start. Get these burning. It's all good. Drop the coals on, and I'll come back to you when we get up to temperature. They're just going to burn for a wee while. It's nice to see as well, by the way, that there's not a lot of smoke. I'm out in the gazebo as normal. The plastic windows are down. I've got one door open over there, and it's all going to be good, I think. So there's lots and lots of burnage going on. Let's see how it comes out. Catch you in a bit. Well, scant 5-10 minutes later, not very long. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but there's quite a lot of heat coming off this. I'm just going to let it burn up for a little bit, because one of the things that this thing came with, and I'll explain why I've done this in a bit, but look, if I'd wanted to, I could have barbecued on there, but I don't want to, so I'll take that off. That's hot. Haha. To explain, if I may, I'll get shot of this because it's going dark in now. To explain, if I may, I am aware that people are having difficulty getting hold of charcoal. I am also aware that people are having difficulty getting deliveries of food or getting hold of food, getting out to shops for food, given where we are. And that's the lead that I'm going to try not to mention much more of that. So I'm working on the basis of anything I can get delivered, and from places like Amazon where stuff's coming from. So this whole thing here has been bought from Amazon. It's quite cheap. I think it's about £16, something like that. If I can remember how, I might even put a link in the description so you can see. So the idea is to try and work with stuff I can get delivered that comes at not too great a price, which is one of the reasons I'm using the Pro-Q briquettes, because they come from Amazon. 50 quid for 30 kilos. That doesn't seem too bad. So right, yes, everything I'm doing has come via the internet. That's what tonight is all about, doing everything via the internet. Anyway, let's get on and get these charcoals. Let's see where they're at, shall we? Now if I pick this up, if I show you, you can see exactly what's going on there. They are coming up to temperature really quite nicely. I'm tempted to leave them in there to get really hot, but I've got other bits and bobs to do, so I'll team them in and let's see how we go. And that gives us a lovely bed of coal as it happens. Now touch the bottom, David. No, that's hot. This is going to have to go outside. Excuse I. Right, I'm back. It's going to be this camera to show you what's going on. So I'm going to try and arrange these coals so that I've got even heat. By God, there's putting some temperature away here. Just arrange them round to give even heat. We've done this before. You know what I'm like. I'm going to leave them to ash over and give me a good consistent heat bed right the way over. It might take a little while, but there's no rush. There's never a rush. No point in rushing. Might as well just enjoy it. I know these things will burn for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages, so if they're going to do that, that's fine. Put that out of the way. What do I need? I need the grid. So I put my grid on, and I want the wind deflector because I'm going to want heat in different places, and that can now sit there for as long as it likes while I get on and do something else. So, right, while the barbecue, the Thueros, is coming up to temperature, which is doing very nicely. Lovely heat coming off there. I want to remove the veal rib out of the way for a second. Move my knives and get this out. Now this is bread dough that I made last night, and which is going to be flatbreads. And the easiest way of getting this out, David, by the looks of it, is going to be to cut the blowed bag. I probably should have floured it, but I didn't. So I will now. Put a little bit of flour down. There we go. A little bit. Turn it out. Right. Now, this is a very, very simple recipe of dough. Where can I put that? Go over there. A very, very simple recipe of dough. 500 grams of plain flour. There's no bread flour in this, it's plain flour. Where are we at? 7 grams of yeast, 7 grams of salt. I've put a little bit more in. 325 millilitres of tepid water, and 2 teaspoonfuls of sugar, as well as 2 tablespoons of good olive oil. So I made it last night. It's proved, and as you can see, it's a delightful piece of dough. And all I'm going to do is to make it into flatbreads and leave the flatbreads there to prove a little further, so that when I'm done actually doing the veal, I can chuck the flatbreads on while the veal's resting. So it's a very simple task, is this. I forgot to cut that bit, David, you nugget. Right, so all I'm going to do is just ball one up. My hands are clean, I've washed them, it's alright, don't you worry about that. So flatten it off and roll it out. And guess where the rolling pin came from? Yes, like I said, everything tonight is Amazon. Now this thing's got the guides, and you really want to get it down to the smallest of the guides, which is 1/16 of an inch in American style. What the hell that is in millimeters, I can never remember, but I'm just going to roll it out as thin as I can get it. I'm going to try and keep a teardrop shape about it. Whether I'll manage that or not, I don't know, but I'm just going to get it out nice and thin. Doesn't matter that it's not huge. And like I say, these are going to go and do while the meat is resting. And what I'm going to do, you can see how elastic this dough is. This is its second proof. I knocked it back, but I do need it to get a little bit more of a proof on. Right, so I just use cheapo crepe plastic bags. Dodge it in a little bit of flour, put it on the cheapo crepe plastic bag, and then roll the next one out. And it's dead easy, isn't it? You'll not want to see all this, so I'm going to be editing a lot out. Flatten it off, give it a roll. You can also use this dough for pizzas. It's very good. Like I say, plain flour, what our American cousins call all-purpose flour is what it is, and it does the job. So I'm going to make these flatbreads and make them look a little bit like a naan. I'm not actually bothered what shape they are because they are lovely as they stand. So I'll come back here when I've got these all done and when we're about ready to start messing on with the veal, because that's really the exciting bit, isn't it? Rose veal. Oh, I should, while I'm rolling this, let me just tell you this while I think on. Rose veal is not what some older folks might think of as the old crated veal that we used to get. This is responsibly done. The animals have a good life, they're free ranged, or at least these ones are. Rose veal is not something to be scared of. It's lovely stuff. It's very tender by the very nature of it being veal and not being old and what have you. So there's nothing to worry about that, and it's actually quite cheap to buy. It's not an expensive bit of meat, and as I say, this is a veal ribeye, really is what it is, on the bone, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes. There are some gotchas about veal, of course, as in you can very easily overcook it, so you've got to keep an eye on it. It's a lovely tender meat. I'm really very fond of veal, always have been. I've always liked it. Thankfully this is not going to be escallop size, you know, when you talk about a Wiener Schnitzel or something like that. It's not one of them, so it's not going to be too hard to work with, I don't think. I'm really pleased with this dough, I've got to say. It's so springy, so nice. Right, that's 4 of them done. I think I'm probably going to leave it at that for the moment, so I'll stick another one over the top just to protect it, and I'll come back to you in a bit. Right, we're at that point. If we look across at the Thueros, you'll be able to see we have white hot coals here. I don't even think what temperature they're at, but they're at very high. And here we have the rose veal. First things first, David, I'm going to just drop this onto my chopping board because I have the feeling it's going to have a little wee. When I open it up, it's going to bleed, and I kind of don't want that running all over everywhere. So let's get it out and see how it looks and prepare it for using. And there we have it. Veal prime rib. Yes, looks very nice. Right, here we go. And as I thought, we've got a little bit of juice. Beautifully packaged, I have to say. So that can all come off. This is, I want to try and show you, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this or not. but it is very, very soft to the touch before you start. This is tender, very, very tender before you even start. And all it's going to need is a little bit of oil. Trying to make sure you can see what I'm doing. It's going to need a little bit of oil and some salt. In fact, I'll probably salt it when I'm finished. I will probably salt it when I've finished with it, rather than which way. No, let's bit of oil and a bit of salt. Let's do it the way I usually do. Let's not change anything. Bit of salt going in, and you know I like my salt. Good scrubble of salt going on. This is flaky sea salt. It's not crystals, it's the little pyramids, which is the kind I like best. And it's not as salty as you think it is. The only other thing I need to do now, of course, is to get some kind of temperature probe in there. And that will be the meter, probe 3. So the meter needs to be in to the widest, the right into the middle, not too far to the bottom. That's it, it's there and it's ready to go. You can see how tractable that is. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use my phone for doing all of this. It is connected. Set up the cook. Can you see? No, you can't. Set up the cook. It's going to be, it's a steak. I'll call it, yeah, and it's going to be rare. So we're going to be looking for 52 degrees is what we're going to be looking for. And let's get it on to this amazing heat. I'm going to sear it and then raise it up. So are we ready? Let's cook. And it literally isn't going to take very long, isn't this? I want to get a good sear on the bottom. And I'm keeping my phone handy so I can see we're at 9 degrees now. So we've got a good sear on the bottom. And then I'm going to whack it over and get a good sear on the top. And then the grate is going to be lifted up. You'll see. You'll see. Right, I'm going to lift the grate up a bit. We have a lovely sear on this now, so I'm just going to knock it up onto the second level, which is very easy to do, and then it can just cook away there by itself without me having to bother too much about it. And then we'll get it off and get it resting, and when we've got it resting we'll get the flatbreads on. So back with you when it's time to rest it. Well, we've got 5 minutes left to go. Well, 4 minutes left to go now. I'm going to be pulling it off probably at around about 38-40 degrees because this is veal. I don't want it over well cooked. Having a little poke at it, that's solidified up. In fact, it's got to the point where I'm going to take it off right now, this very second, because I don't want it any firmer than it already is. So that can come off, and we'll stick it down there where you can see it. What I'm going to do, it's been on a total of 8 minutes now. It's been on 8 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it. I'm going to leave the meter probe in there and just move that off to one side. Just cover it so that it can wait there and get itself sorted out. And in the meantime, I'm going to drop the rack further down, right the way down onto the bottom, because I need heat for what I'm about to do. And we're going to start with the flatbreads. And I'm hoping, look how that's lovely and stretchy. I'm hoping I can get 2 on at a time. And if I can, then we're going to get some lovely, lovely flatbreads out of this. Watch your fingers, David, that's hot. My God, is it ever hot. I'll lift that up, stretch it out. Dead easy to get these things wrong, but you'll see what's happening. You can see the bubbles swarming. So this is going to be a little bit like a naan. A little bit like a naan. State of that. Certainly shows you where the heat is. Let's put it that way. No flames, thank you. Don't need flames. Yes, I think we might be better off doing them one at a time because there's not too much heat at the edge. I think that might just be about time to turn. Yes, you can see what's happening. So we'll just let those carry on. Pull these other ones down and out the way. Hot, 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 hot. Yeah, I should give that a little bit longer, I think. I do want you to know I'm not an expert. I'm just doing my best. Oof, the steam, the steam. Well, these look all right. So let's have that one. And pile them up together. And put this one right in the middle, I think, by itself. Give it a good little stretch out because they're starting to rise. Drop it right in. Oh man. Useless, David. You're useless. What are you? There you go. It's better. Right. And we wait. Meanwhile, just put that over there so that the towel I'm about to put on it doesn't stick to it. I told you no flames. And again you'll see the bubbles are starting to form. I'm really quite pleased with this. Who knew you could use plain flour to make bread? But it does work. The tip is, you know how when it says need for 8 to 10 minutes, do 10 to 11 minutes. And in actual fact I've used the door hook on the Kenwood Chef. It's not that I'm lazy, it's just that I can't be arsed. I'm going to try using the spatula now. We have good air bubbles. That's better. In fact, I might be able to bring that up. Just the one, because it is enormously hot. We'll do that just to slow it down a little touch. So, the time has come for me to move these over here on their bit plastic and to have a look at the meat, which is now at a lovely 49 degrees, the meter tells me. So I'll take that out, and that's pulled out so beautifully well. Now I expect a little bit of blood to follow the knife, that's the way it goes, and I'm going to take a cut straight across here just so you can see what it looks like. And that's, there you are. That is a perfect, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous rare, exactly the way I want it. It's pink and it's beautiful. So let's move this over there so you can see what's happening, and I'm going to take another slice straight down there, and I'm going to get a piece of flatbread. Might as well use the one I've just taken off so you can have a look inside. And there you can see inside the flatbread, which is hot as hell. Waft, waft, waft. I'm going to put my piece of rose veal inside that bit of flatbread, and I'm going to give it a try. And oh my God. It's unbelievable. Those of you that eat ribeye will know that this cap end can be quite chewy at times, so it's not. It's tender, it's juicy. That salt going on it has given it shed loads of flavour. If you look here, it just pulls to bits and it tastes absolutely glorious. Give me juices on my flatbread. I could not ask for anything more. I think I paid about 12 quid for a half kilo, so that's a pound and a bit of meat and bone, to be fair, and it's worth every penny. This is so nice, it's gorgeous. So there you go, that's it. Quick barbecue with flatbreads, done and dusted. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, as I say, thumbs up, comments down below, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Until then, stay safe and enjoy yourselves as best you can. Keep your charcoal burning, keep your grates clean. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.